Yeah, you make any sudden movements, you'll be tasered.
You're currently under arrest. Time is 1:42 in the morning on suspicion of murder of Owen Fairclough. Okay. There's concerns around the initial account you've provided and also the injuries sustained.
Guys, if you can, I'd really appreciate it if you can just hit a like on this video and see whether we can get 1,000 likes within the next 24 hours. I'd really appreciate it.
One night before dumping him in a stream. Jack Towell pleaded guilty to killing Owen Fairclough, who was found with his throat slit and stab wounds to his body. Court heard Mr. Fairclough had been lured to the area by the gang who feared he was about to inform police about their drug dealing after arranging to meet his friend Towell to collect money he was owed. Mr. Fairclough got in a taxi from his home in Long Eaton in Derbyshire to the Navigation Inn pub where he had agreed to meet Towell at around 11 o'clock at night on June the 21st. But when he arrived, he called Towell, who directed him to a secluded area nearby. Two of the men, David Oswald, who's 31, and a man who cannot be named for legal reasons, were also waiting, and Mr. Fairclough was subjected to the fatal attack. Jurors were told the three men had been and hatched a plan to kill Mr. Fairclough along with the help from a fourth man who was not at the scene on the night in question. A group of teenagers found Mr. Fairclough's body in a stream near a path in Breaston on June the 23rd last year. Towell from Nottingham was arrested at around 1 o'clock in the morning on June the 24th after CCTV and geological data placed him in the area at the time of Mr. Fairclough's murder. He denied murder but changed his plea to guilty partway through a trial at Derby Crown Court. Oswald from Birmingham and a 23-year-old man from Long Eaton were also at the scene of the murder. Man B from Nottinghamshire, who also cannot be named for legal reasons, was not present on the night of the murder but was involved in the planning. All three were charged with Owen's murder. They denied the charges but were all found guilty after a trial at Derby Crown Court. Judge Gregory Dickinson KC told the men during sentencing shortly before midnight on June the 21st, 2023, in an isolated area, Owen Fairclough was murdered. His throat had been cut. He had been stabbed and barely alive when he was manhandled to a bank and dropped into a brook. There his body remained for 2 days until it was found. Owen was no angel. He was being drawn into the world of drugs by horrible people like you, but he was loved. He had youth and he had the capacity to live a decent family life, but that was wiped out by you guys. This was a planned killing to preserve your criminal lifestyle. The method of killing was no doubt discussed, a Rambo knife. There may have been one knife or two, one assailant or two, but all of you killed Owen Fairclough, and there has been a total lack of remorse. Mr. Fairclough's sister said in a victim impact statement to the court, "The last 1 year and 5 months have been a roller coaster of grief and heartache. I feel like I've been walking in a world where everything is grey. There's been no light, no happiness and no energy. He was my big brother and I now feel alone." Mr. Fairclough's mother said in a statement, "I miss him every day, every single day. It has broken my heart and I'm never going to get over the loss of my son. One thing I will never understand is why so much violence was used. Losing Owen has completely altered my life beyond recognition." His father said, "I don't understand how anyone can be so callous. Losing Owen feels like I've lost a part of myself. There's now a massive void. Losing Owen has been absolutely monumental. We have all got a life sentence now." So the four men have now been sentenced to life imprisonment. Towell was ordered to serve a minimum of 30 years, while Oswald must serve a minimum of 26 years. Man A was ordered to serve a minimum of 29 years and Man B must serve a minimum of 25 years. So obviously they've not been named for legal reasons. Probably they've got some other court proceedings pending, but shortly they will be named. Derbyshire police released Towell's mugshot showing the word dead inked on his face alongside a tattoo on his other cheek of a broken heart. Detective Superintendent Lee Saunders of the East Midlands Special Operations Unit said, "This murder was one of the largest investigations that EMSOU had investigated, East Midlands Special Operations Unit, and among the most complex I have had to deal with in my time as a detective. As is always the case, the investigations of this nature, there are dozens of people involved and they all played a part in bringing these men to justice." So this team, led by Superintendent Matt Croom, worked around the clock to arrest and charge those responsible and get justice for Owen's family. Said, "I also want to thank Owen's family for the manner in which they supported the investigation and the strength and dignity they have shown through the court process." Detective Investigator Molly Mee, who led the investigation, said this was a pre-planned and callous attack organised by Towell after he became convinced that Owen was about to inform police of the group's drug dealing exploits. Towell recruited Oswald and these other two men as part of his plan, and the group lay in wait for Owen, who they believed was going to snitch on them, and they were ready to kill him in the most horrific way. Their calculated actions led to the needless death of a young man who had his whole life ahead of him. The fact that they carried on just drinking and taking drugs in the days after killing Owen speaks volumes about their characters. I'm pleased they've now all been convicted for their part in this awful crime, and they'll be behind bars for many years to come. So I just want to say rest in peace to the victim, and my condolences go out to your family. So guys, here's a little thing in life now. I've seen it. I've been through the mill. I've seen it all. I've experienced everything. And in this game of drugs, no one makes it out. You'll either get locked up, you'll have somebody robbing your shit, you'll have somebody grassing you up and you'll get into prison, or you'll end up battering someone. And in some cases, like in this story that we've heard today, people will lose their life over what? Drugs. So there's people out there thinking they're going to make money from drugs. And there's people out there that are selling these drugs and buying these drugs, and they're ruining not only their lives and their families' lives. And it's just a vicious circle. But in the end, what you put out there is what you'll get. The universe will repay you. It's just the way the world works. So if you're out there destroying somebody's life, somebody out there is going to destroy your life. And I'll be honest with you, I know loads of people that have been in this game, and not one has made it out the so-called hood. I will give you an example of how some of these top dogs that you guys are thinking are living. You go to their houses, whether they've purchased them or whether they've rented, dirty, filthy, can't even clean up after themselves. I know of people, 4 brothers, right? They still live in their parents' house. They've got all the designer garments, they've got the cars and all that kind of stuff. But if I told you 4 brothers, they all sleep in the same room as grown-ass 30-year-old men in bunk beds. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, because, you know, sometimes people have to live like that. But if you're out there and you've got this image of being this big, bad gangster drug dealer, but in actual fact, you're living that life. Like, not everybody's going to make it like Scarface. And even that was a movie. And at the end, what happened? He lost his life. It's a mug's game. You've seen with the encroacher, even the top dogs, they're all getting locked up as well. But again, if that's your business, that's your business. But the point being is, here you've had a young lad that has lost his life over what? A bag of weed. Honestly, this is the God's honest truth, right? You'd be better off just, I don't know, becoming a brickie, going on site, trying to find out how to do scaffolding, fucking learn a trade. You'd be better off in the long run. I'm telling you, some of these guys, like 16, 17-year-olds starting up now, getting 180, 200 pound a day just as labourers. So just any youngsters out there thinking, you know what, it's hard to make money and all that kind of stuff, just get your ass out there, learn a trade, learn a skill, and you'll be successful. Stay away from this drugs game. It's dirty and it doesn't end well for anyone at all. Once again, rest in peace, the victim. Condolences go out to your family. It's your boy GT. Keep it locked, keep it real.